Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Lxttle Kxller by Gene. All right, so this is a little killer X-sum puzzle. Should be interesting. Let's go over the rules. We do have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules, so in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We also have clues outside the grid. They do multiple things. First of all, they are X-sums, so we ignore the little arrow there. So digits outside the grid, like this 13, what we do is we take the first cell next to the clue. Let's say it's a 4. Then what we do is including it, we need to take 4 cells from the clue. The clue is cluing this column. So we need to take the first 4 cells from the perspective of that clue, including this 4, and they need to add to 13. So as another example down here, this 14 here, if this was a 3, then these 3 cells would need to add to 14. So this is the count of how many cells we use, including itself. In addition to that, they are also little killer clues. So that's where the arrow comes in. There's cells that are pointed down the diagonal of the arrow. And if we were to sum those cells up, they also sum to our clue, to 13 in this case. So all 5 of these sum to 13. Now, little killers, we like to mention this because some constraints, mostly just killer, which is the most popular one, do prevent repeats, but it's really much the only one that prevents repeats. All other constraints, we would say, but we also say if they don't, whenever there's a sum. So these do not prevent repeats beyond any other rules, right? So we can do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and that would add to whatever that is. That would add to 7. So what we can't do is 1, 1, because Sudoku says you can't repeat. So just because the little color doesn't have additional restrictions doesn't mean you can break Sudoku rules. All right, and that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself. And I'm going to get started right now. Okay, let's think about the 6th lowest number here. So first of all, it's an X-sum. So about X-sums, you can't ever put a 1 unless the clue is a 1, because that means you're only using one cell itself to add to it, so it would be a 1. This could easily be a 2. If it was a 2, this would be a 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6. Could also be a 3 if this was a 1-2 pair. Now we can't mark this one, but this is the union of both options. So it could either be 2, 4 or 3 with a 1-2 here, and then also a 1-2 here. Now adding to 6 this way, the minimum this could be is a 1-2 pair here and a 1 here. So that adds to 4. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So there's what we call 2 degrees of freedom here. Any of these digits could be increased by 2, or 2 of them can be increased by 1. Must be in order to hit 6. So this could be increased to 2 or 3. Now this could be increased to 3 or 4. So like, for example, we could do 1 plus 4 is 5, plus another 1 is 6. Any bigger than 4, we're going to overshoot 6. All right. Close to a 1, 2, 3. Actually, this 1, 2, 3 means this can't be a 3. Because if this was 3, this would be a 1, 2 pair, and now we'd have 3 1, 2s to place. It doesn't work. So, however you want to think about that. Sorry, I went too far back. That does make this a 2, 4. Meaning that can't be 4 and that can't be 2. Okay. That is restricting things a little bit. All right, what about this 13 then? So we obviously can't do it in 1. You can't do 13 and 2. There's no 11. 13 and 3. So if you think about the biggest 3 digits, there's 6, 5, 4, and that adds to 15. So 3 is viable as far as I can tell, but it does make this a 1. Actually, no, sorry. 6, 5, 4 is the biggest we can be, but 6, 5, 4 doesn't use the 3. So 6, 5, 3 is the biggest we can be, which is 14. So that still technically works, except it makes this a 1. And now that this is a 1, these 3, these would add to 4. This would have to be a 9. There's no 9 in a 6x6 Sudoku. So this has to be at least 4. Now 5 digits, what's the minimum it can add to? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adds to 15. That's too big. So actually the only option is for this to be 4. Now this is interesting to me because this cell here can't be a 2. So this can't be a 1, 3 pair. Because 1, 3 would require this to be 2. So what does that mean? It can be a 1-2 pair. Oh yeah, that means it must have the 2. That's an easy deduction. If it can't be a 1-3 pair, then that means it does contain a 2. Now, if it was 2-3, this would be a 1. If it was a 1-2, this would be a 3. Okay. Now, we still need this to add to 13. That's still kind of difficult. These two need to add to 9. The only way to do that is 6 and 3 with the options here. All right, so this should add to 13, I hope. Oh, did I do that right? Yeah, I hope so. 6. No, I didn't do that right. Sorry, let's do this again. I didn't include the 2. That's the issue. These add to 6. Sorry about that. These add to 6, and so we need another 7 to get to 13. So we can do 1-6, or we could... Oh, we can't do 3-4. Okay, so actually, I was completely wrong. This has to be 1-6. I'm glad I checked that. It looked too big. I'm glad I checked it. Yeah, this definitely adds to 13. That leaves the 3-5 down here. This being 1 means this has to be 2-3 to add to 5. And then that leaves the 1-5 here. So this adds to 6. So these 3 need to add to 7. That seems very viable. All right, 3, 5, 6. What about the 14 then? Okay, let's think about how we're adding to 14 with an X sum then. So especially without a 4, we can just barely do it in 3. We would do 3 and then a 5, 6 pair. So that's one option. In fact, we know the 6 actually exists in one of these two. I can already tell you this can't be 6. It would use all the digits in the row, which adds to 21. So the 6 is one of these two. So the 6 is included. It's not gonna be a 2. Okay, so 3 would be 5, 6. What about... Oh, and 5 is 15. Yeah, so this has to be the 3 then. And this is a 5, 6 pair. That was the only option. This is 2, this is 3, this is 1, this is 5. The 5, 6 pair told us that. Down here, we need a 1, 2, 4. Let's just mark that. The 5 is placed in this box. Let's get these pairs as well. 2, oh, sorry, not 2, 4. 2, 6, and 1, 4. All right, this 14 here. It could be a 3 with a 5, 6 pair here. It could be a 4 as well. Now, if it was a 4, then these 3 add to 10. Oh, sorry, it cannot be a 3 with a 5, 6 pair. Look at this. There's already a 5, 6 in the column. So I think it's got to be 4 then. 14 can only be 3 or 4. Again, I don't think I have to prove that it can't be 5 for a third time. Anyway, that's 1 and 4. That's not 4. So sometimes thinking about the outies can be easier. What I mean by the outies is we know these 4 add to 14. But we also know that the entire column adds to 21 because 1 through 6 is 21. So what do these two add to? Well, it's going to be 21 minus 14, which is 7. So this is going to be 1, 6 or 2, 5. So that tells me that there's a lot of optionality here that we can't resolve yet. So we have this 14 diagonal. Well, we know all but one digit. This is 5 plus 4, that's 9. So this has to be a 5, giving us 6 and 5 here. Now we know these add to 7, right? So that's 5 and 2. And that fulfills this sandwich, this X sum. We get the 3 and the 5 here. This is 2 or 6. 3 in the corner. Oh, we got 2 3s in the corner. That's fun. Okay, this adds to 14. That might be what we need. 5 in this box is placed. What is this? 1, 3, 6? Not a 6. Okay, 14. These add to 10. These add to at least 4 because neither of them can be 2. 2 is in one of these two. So these add to at least 4. Plus 4 is 8. Even if this was 1, it would be 9. This would max out at 5, so it cannot be a 6. Let's just go over that again. Minimum this can be is a 1, 3 pair. That's 4. Plus another 4 is 8. Minimum here is 1, so that's 9. 14 minus 9 is 5, so this can't be a 6. That's 2, that's 6, that's 6. And so now we know that these add to 6, so these add to 8. 4 plus 4 is very tempting, but 1 plus 7 seems reasonable as well. Yeah, like 1, 6, 3, 4, either way work. No, not 3, 4. It would be 1, 6. Does this always need a 1? It's interesting. I wonder if there's Sudoku that's going to make this easier to think about. 3, 6, not a 1. Okay, so yeah, this can't be 3. Okay, that makes it a lot easier to see this can't be 3. I thought there needed to be a 1 somewhere. If this was 3, that forces this to be 6. It's already 9. 9 plus 6 is already 15, and we still have this one to add. So definitely not 3. This is 1, 4, and 1. So wait, what did these add to? 6, 8. Yes, 1, 1, and 6. Perfect. That's 3 and 6. That's 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, and we're done. Correct solution. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I just had to pencil a little bit more, and the 14 became more obvious. But I actually liked the step here. I don't know if it was necessary, but I liked it that this couldn't be 6 because it would overblow this sums minimum. Pretty neat. Yeah, so with little killers, think about minimums, think about maximums. It can get more complicated, but that's a good place to start. All right, cool. Well, let me know how you did. If you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.